How's it going, everyone? Void Touched here. We have ourselves a new article from Bungie that is going to be talking about the Destiny Content Vault, specifically what's going to be happening with stuff with Witch Queen in February. So we're going to go ahead and go over that. This is something I wanted to do for a while, and they made it super easy for us by putting it all in one easy-to-find location. So, with the launch of Year 5, which is going to be on February 22nd, 2022, and is also the launch of the Witch Queen. Certain destination activities and quests will be removed and put into the content vault, and players will have until this date to experience all the listed content before it becomes unavailable to access in the game. A quick explanation of what the Destiny Content Vault is, since it's been a year since we've actually really talked about it. The Destiny Content Vault is where they have moved all Destiny 1 content and a large portion of Destiny 2 content to be taken out of the game to make room for space and things like that, and new stuff in Destiny 2. There's a chance for things to be rotated out. We've seen weapons get rotated out, which is obvious, but then we also had the Vault of Glass got taken out of the content vault and given to us. So in theory, there are several things that they can bring back. We know they've talked about bringing back another classic Destiny 1 raid in Year 5 from the content vault. They did say a main raid too, so we know that it's not going to be Crota's End. Most likely King's Fall, considering it's all going to be Savathun and Hive based this year. And that's fine. So, destinations. So, the destinations, like flat out, the destination that is going away is going to be the Tangled Shore. And that is going to include all of its locations, the Fourhorn Gulch, the Jetsam of Saturn, the Thieves Landing, I think this is called, and then like the Sorix's Cut. And then it's also going to take away all the lost sectors. It's going to take away the Glykon, which is currently how we get the Dead Man's Tail. And it's going to take away 2 strikes. It's going to take away the Scorn Strike, the Hallowed Lair, and then it's going to take away the Hive Strike Broodhold. I like Broodhold. I enjoyed it, but losing it means we lose most of Tangled Shore. I mean, Tangled Shore is okay, but they've done nothing with it. There hasn't really been any reason for us to use the Tangled Shore with a lot of the stories we've been telling, so I'm not surprised that it's going away. Now, last year when they took away the planets, they took away Mars, Mercury, Titan, Io. I think they took away one more. I want to say they took away 5. Did they take away 5? Io, Mars, Mercury, Titan. No, I think it was just the 4. But yeah, so when they took those away, there was a plot to it. It was Season of Arrivals. It was another super long season. And at the end of it, like when the servers went offline before, like I think for almost a week or something like that. Not a week, like a couple of days, I think, before they turned on, before Beyond Light came out. There was a event. You got to sit and you got to stand there and watch as the Traveler remade itself, and Eris spoke to you, and you got a emblem. Well, most people got an emblem. I was in it. It was very glitched. A lot of people were getting into it. I was in it like 3 different times, and I never got the emblem. And I'm still a little salty about it because it's a really cool looking emblem, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's just an emblem. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be looking for some sort of community event, probably going to be announced around the middle of January, that is going to take place leading up to Witch Queen. We know there's going to be at least one more story beat in the Season of the Lost, because there has to be something else that happens. There has to be something else that we have to deal with. There's a radio transmission we're still missing from the Triumphs, and Marasov says that it's going to take a while before we can extract her worm, Savathun's worm, that is. So hopefully that will be taken care of. We should be getting one more story beat that will tie all of that up and lead us directly into Witch Queen. So we'll see what happens with that. The Helm Wings for the Elixir and the Awoken. I expected this. They are specifically tied to seasonal content. The Elixir Quarter, the Last City Elixir Quarter, and Marasov's Chambers as well are specifically tied to a season. All those seasons are going away. So I did expect the Eliksni wing and the Awoken wing to go away. The last City Eliksni quarter, I'm a little surprised at. I'm hoping they said in a lore card that it is temporary in plot, that they're keeping the Eliksni there. And I'm hoping that what we're going to see is the evolution of that. And the Eliksni are moved elsewhere in the tower, and we're going to start seeing them integrate more. We've seen them slowly move out and end up in around where Ikora and Hawthorne are. I don't think I've seen any as far as Banshee yet, but we have seen them. We have seen them right up to the platform before where Ikora and them are. There are lore cards, several lore cards that mention the Eliksni walking around in the main part of the tower by Banshee, by Rahul, things like that. So I'm hoping we start seeing more evolution of that in the tower. And then next season, the Helm, which is obviously going to start being our, at least for a little bit, our seasonal evolving area that changes as we go through the seasons. We're going to have it for at least one more year, it seems. We'll probably have the Helm all the way through the Light Saga. And if they're going to change that, and if they're going to change the main tower, it will probably happen between the final shape and whatever they have planned for after the Light Saga. Which, who knows what's going to happen then? There's so much different stuff in the Destiny universe that we could do at that point. I'm super excited. Anyways, so, yeah, they're removing Tangled Shore altogether. It does say the Warden of Nothing strike right here. I did forget to mention that. Is going to be moved to the Legends section of the Director. And it will stay in the rotation. So they're removing these campaigns, the Forsaken campaign, which is all about Cade Six's death and your quest for vengeance and the death of Uldren. And then ultimately it takes you into the Dreaming City storyline, but that can still be experienced after this. I'm assuming that the Dreaming City storyline is going to be one that you can just immediately now go and pick up from Petrovenge by visiting the Dreaming City. And you'll be able to start the Dreaming City's sort of pseudo storyline that takes place over 3 to 6 weeks, depending on how you do it. All the narratives from every season of the Hunt, Chosen, Splicer, and Lost. So if you haven't finished any of those narratives, if you haven't gone and done any of Season of the Hunt, which is totally understandable. Season of the Hunt came out when Beyond Light came out, and even by some of the narrative teams at own admission, the Season of the Hunt was kind of the weakest of the three, because of the four. They didn't want to step on Beyond Light's toes. So Season of the Hunt, it has crucial story information in regards to Crow and Osiris's relationship in freeing Crow from Spider's control. A Season of the Chosen, which is by far, in my opinion, out of all four of these seasons, the best out of all four of them. It's a fantastic season. It has excellent storyline in it. Keitel is a very compelling foil that ultimately turns into a begrudging ally, as we've seen through Season of the Lost at this point. Keitel is now somebody who has Zavala's ear. Keitel is able to talk to Zavala and go back and forth with them on a level playing field. It's a very good season. I would definitely suggest, if you have not done Season of the Chosen's narrative, you need to do that. Enjoy it. Finish it. It's really good. Season of the Splicer. I enjoyed Season of the Splicer the most not the most, but I enjoyed it as much as I did because of the aesthetic. The design is something we've rarely seen in Destiny. The whole art style itself is very reminiscent of prototype builds of video games, and I love that. So I thought that Season of the Splicer worked really well. It also helped us address a lot of the what I like to call space racism that we have in the game towards some of these races, like the Fallen, or as we now know them, the Eliksni, are always evil. They're always evil. And then we meet Spider, and Spider's evil, but Spider's not trying to kill us. Spider's a bad person, but he's not violent towards us. and then we meet the Mithrax and the rest of the Elixir, the House of Light, in Season of the Splicer. And Mithrax we met way back in year 1 of Destiny 2. We met back on Titan, and we had no clue where this was going. We all thought that the Forsaken campaign was going to be about Mithrax because he's also technically a Forsaken prince, just like Aldrin, just like Cade. There's a whole lot of different layers of the plot. And so finally getting it to interact with them and watch Saint 14 go from being this very xenophobic, feared demon to the Elixir to this almost angelic like savior. It was honestly almost like watching watching Godzilla movies where they're learning to love Godzilla, and at the end Godzilla saves them and things like that. It was a really, really great run through Season of the Splicer. Season of Lost is the one we're in right now. I don't like Morozov. I think that she is out for herself. I don't think she's on our side. She is well written. She's well done. She's an amazing character. I don't trust her. She's not to be trusted. Don't trust Morozov. The Savathun storyline is great. Finally getting the reveal about Osiris was fantastic. Play through Season of the Lost. I would definitely suggest giving it a good run. It's really good. Because all of those go away on the 22nd. Season of the Lost, like I said, it hasn't ended yet, but all of them go away on the 22nd of February. Activities. So, Baron Hunts. Now, Baron Hunts are part of the Forsaken campaign in the Tangled Shore, so I'm not surprised by that at all. Tangled Shore public events and lost sectors, once again, part of the Tangled Shore, so they're going out as well. Wrathborn Hunts. Seasonal content. These next few are going to be some seasonal content, it looks like. Wrathborn Hunts was Season of the Hunt. Once again, not a very popular activity. It was really difficult to try to farm things out. It didn't seem to mesh well with the seasonal cycle, the seasonal loop of activities that we were due. But it does have some pretty interesting gear. Now, so the more interesting of the gear you can now get from the Season of the Lost Umbral Engrams. But if you wanted to sit and farm that out, do it. It also has an exotic ship. Get that exotic ship. It's the 4th mark. It's really good. I think it looks really nice. Override offensives. That's from Season of the Splicer. That's Europa, Moon, Tangled Shore, and Last City. They're all going to be going away. All of them were only available for plot reasons. That plot has since corrected itself and moved on. So technically, story-wise, none of these should even exist anymore. The Wrathborn Hunt still do because Xivu Wrath and the hunt is still happening. But these overrides, the only reason we would go back into them now is because we're Guardians just going to have fun. We've already cleared Savathun and Quiria, the Mind Blade, from, or I don't remember. It was Quiria the Mind Blade, and then like Quiria the Taken Mind or something like. I don't remember. We've already cleared all of that, so there's no reason to go back into the override. So that plot-wise makes 100% sense to go away. So do the hunts. I'm assuming something's going to happen with Xivu Wrath before the end of this, where Xivu comes for Savathun, and I actually expect the Tangled Shore to be engulfed in war and no longer be viable for Guardians to land on. That's my assumption. Harbinger. That's the Hawkmoon mission. We're going to be releasing a video about that soon. I've gotten to play through the Harbinger mission with one of the writers. We're going to have, I've done the first part of it. Now he and I are going to go and do the second part of it in a little bit, and I'll have that video out soon for y'all to get some behind the scenes looks at some of it, and we'll get some secrets revealed. But that's going away. The Hawkmoon is a random rolled exotic, and Presage is also going away, which is the Glycon, which is the Dead Man's Tail. Another, randomly rolled exotic. They will become available at the Lost Light Exotics archive in the tower, but we don't know how, and we clearly don't know when. This says at a later date. With them being random rolled, we're not quite sure how they're going to do this, so we'll see what happens with that. So it looks like we also have the Expunge. Why they don't have them up here with the Override Offensives, that I don't know, but that is quite all right. They're part of Season of the Splicer. They're also going away. Once again, we've already corrected all of these, so there's not a whole heck of a lot of a reason to keep them around. So plot-wise, it makes perfect sense for them to go. Astral Alignment Offensive, it's the seasonal activity that we have for Season of the Lost. It also, plot-wise, makes perfect sense to go. All we're doing right now is aligning all of the like astral compasses and things like that inside of the astral plane, so that we can stop Xivu Wrath's advance as long as possible. Shattered Realm, we've already found all of the lost Techians, So once again, that's also a place that makes sense to go. It has some interesting story implications. I'm really hoping that we get some further explanation before this is all up, because the Shattered Realm is a really neat place. I want to know more about it. I know a lot of other people do as well. Vanguard Strikes playlist will be replaced by the Vanguard Operations. So what this is going to do is take all the battlegrounds from Season of the Chosen, which were super fun, so many enemies, and they're going to combine them with the Strike playlist, and then they're all going to work as one, and now it's Vanguard Operations. And I'm super down with that. All right. Exotic quests. So a bunch of exotic quests are going to be going away. You can't complete them any longer because what they're associated with is either getting sunset or reworked. So we do have a list here of the quests specifically, the quest names and the rewards. So the Wish Ender, which awards the Wish Ender bow, really good. That comes from the Shattered Throne dungeon. It is a bow that allows you to, when it's fully drawn, you can see through walls. And it hits pretty hard. It had a bug previously that made it one of the best bows in the game. So I would suggest picking this up because who knows if that bug might resurface. And it was amazing. Holiday Family History. That awards the Chaperone. Right now it is in Shah Han's inventory. He is the Blueberry quest giver on the Cosmodrome. The Chaperone is a slug shotgun, kinetic, and it is dominant. But a lot of people call it a crutch. I don't call it a crutch. To use a slug shotgun, especially at that range and especially that effectively, takes a lot of skill. And the only reason a lot of people are hating on the Chaperone now is because a lot of other weapons that were a lot easier to use that didn't take as much skill got nerfed. And now the Chaperone has kind of like floated its way to the top of the pool because everybody who's skilled using it is running roughshod, pun fully intended, over everyone or a lot of people in the sandbox. So anyways, Chaperone's a good shotgun, especially for PvP. As the Crow Flies, that's the initial Hawkmoon mission. You have to complete the initial quest line for Crow, and then you unlock Hawkmoon, and that's what unlocks the Birds of Prey, which is the heroic Hawkmoon mission. It gives the Radiant Accipiter ship along with giving an exotic, the random rolled version of the Hawkmoon. You're able to go and do that over and over. I'm sorry, Bird of Prey is part of something that goes with Harbinger. Harbinger is the Hawkmoon mission. But so Voicing of the Side, that's the Dead Man's Tale quest. It takes you to the Glycon, takes you through Presage. Super good mission, really fun quest. So, that's right. These are the quests. The activities are below. We'll get there. We got this. Path of the Splicer. That's the whole quest line. That's the one that gives you the Forbidden Memory ship. Now, like Path of the Splicer is the narrative for Season of the Splicer. So if you want that, you have to go through everything. That is the same for the Wayfinder's Voyage. We're going to jump trace in the stars for a moment. Wayfinder's Voyage is the seasonal narrative for Season of the Lost, and it gives you the Eternal Recurrent Sparrow. Alongside that, the exotic quest for Season of the Lost was Tracing the Stars, and that gives Ager's Scepter, which is a really powerful stasis trace rifle. Definitely get that. These are the activities. Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale, as noted, will become available at the kiosk some point in time in year 5. They just don't really know when yet. So the activities, Harbinger, which is Hawkmoon, that is the heroic version of the As a Crow Flies quest. We have to go through the caves and fight a bunch of Taken at the end. It's really difficult and really fun. It's on a weekly rotation. Coup de Grace, which is the Season of the Hunt's final mission. It is not on a rotation. It is the same thing every time. At the end of it, you go and kill the celebrant, and a random drop is the 4th mark ship. This is one you're gonna have to farm for. This is one that is going to be a royal pain because you don't have much of a choice. It's going away, and it's a random drop. So I don't envy you. I farmed it for maybe like 2 or 3 days straight going in, and finally got it, I think, on like my 20th or 25th run. And yeah, activity rewards. So some of these we've already covered, like the Hawkmoon and the Dead Man's Tale, but we're going to go over them again. Harbinger is the mission that you're able to do, the heroic version that you're able to do repeatedly to get the random rolls of Hawkmoon. We have Coup de Grace, which is the final mission of Season of the Hunt, where you hunt down the High Celebrant. It has the 4th mark ship as a random drop. And then we have Presage, which gives you both the Dead Man's Tale, which gives you the random rolls of it whenever you go through on the heroic version. Well, on the normal version, you get rolls once a week. And then there's the Shell of Gilgamesh, Ghost Shell, which you get from doing all of the different weekly clue activities from the Presage mission out of Glycon. Now, that one's on a little bit more of an extended time frame, because I believe you have to do it once a week over 3 or 4 weeks. I may be mistaken on that, because I know that's how it was when it first came out. But I don't know if you'll be able to run through and get all the clues now. You may not, you might not, but that one's on a little bit more of an extra time limit. Completion drops. So these are those that come from completions of bounties or ranking up in certain areas. Wanted bounty completions is how you get Lord of Wolves. Currently, that is the only way to get it in the real world drops out in the game. Zur has sold it a few times, but the only way to actually do it is through the wanted bounties. So from what I can tell, that should go to the Lost Light exotic kiosk, and then reaching rank 21 on the war table gives you the high gravitas ship. It looks all right. That's how you get that. And then we have these triumphs that are going away. All the scattered pieces for the Shell of Gilgamesh, which is having to go find all the different chests inside of Glycon. Unpredictable for the Zero Nero Shell, which is doing a flawless run of an override or an expunge. I believe an expunge. You have to do a solo flawless run of expunge. That's how you get the unpredictable for Zero Nero. And Devotee's Remnant, it gives you the Reefborn Warbird ship, which is just applying the catalyst to Agar's Scepter. Once you do that, it gives you the Triumph and you get the Warbird ship. Let's see. Strikes. Broodhold and Hollowed Lair are both the Tangled Shore are going to be put into the DCV. We've already talked about that. Honestly, the Hollowed Lair, one of the harder strikes on Nightfalls, just because of the onslaught of enemies and the health gating of the boss. It's so frustrating. But I'm sad to see them go. I honestly am. I wish they could keep the strikes. I wish the strikes could stay on there. We already don't have a whole lot of a variety in the strikes. The Battlegrounds will help that, because it's going to give us 4 things into the rotation. But it's really frustrating. Vendors. So Spider on the Tangled Shore, he is going to be going away. All of his currency exchange stuff is going to be going to Rahul on the tower. Petrovenge on the Tangled Shore, that is for those who have not completed the Forsaken campaign. Petrovenge hangs out next to Spider during Forsaken, but once you complete it, Petra goes to the Dreaming City, and she's not on the Tangled Shore anymore. The Crow on the Tangled Shore. Now, he has 2 separate vendor locations. They mentioned this. They said that it was only because of how seasonal content is going to work. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel having a crow here and a crow there. And I'm going to tell you, nobody's noticed. I heard that when it first got said, and I haven't heard it once. So the Umbral Decoder, Prismatic Recaster. Hold on, I'm going to cover the other 3, and then we'll talk about those 2. The Splicer Servitor is going away. Obviously, that was part of the Season of the Splicer. This is in the Elixir Wing. Wayfinder's Compass as well is going away. That was in the Awoken Wing. That was part of Season of the Lost. Marsov inside of Marsov's Chambers. Obviously, she's going away because we're not going to access Marsov's Chambers anymore. The 2 I want to talk about that are going to be super interesting are the Umbral Decoder and the Prismatic Recaster. Now, we have had Umbral Engrams now for a year and a few months. They came to us in Season of Arrivals, actually about a year and a half. They came to us as a concept kind of in Season of Arrivals. They were the big gimmick loot-wise for that one. We had the Umbral Decoder and Prismatic Recasters being set up right there next to the Drifter in the tower. So that was the first iteration of it. The second iteration of it is it was moved to the Helm, and it is something that we have interacted with every season. Every season we have found Umbral Engrams. What Umbral Engrams are supposed to be are engrams that are tainted by energy of the darkness, and they cannot be decoded, and they cannot be actually interacted with by a typical Cryptarch because of how negatively charged or something similar to that they are. So with those going away, I believe that has opened up a small door plot wise for us to know we're going to have a different sort of loot system next season. Now we know we're getting weapon crafting. I think that it's going to be associated to that. I think the majority of the loot that we start finding is going to be working towards doing that weapon crafting system. I'm not sure if we're going to be finding complete weapons out in the wilderness, or if we're going to be finding weapon plans and finding parts and stuff like that and doing those sort of things. I'm going to cover that in a later video in my my hypothesis and breakdown of what I think weapon crafting is going to be and how it's going to work. But as it stands right now, yeah, this is everything that is going into the Destiny content vault. I'm sad to see some of this stuff go. Like, I am sad that the Elixir Quarter and Marasov's Chambers have to go. I understand why. I don't like that the Glycon has to leave, but I know why they put it there. The Tangled Shore is one of the only places that has the Scorn. And the Scorn are all over the Glycon. So I'm assuming it had to be put there where they could easily access the Scorn without having to update another area's map. So I understand that they're using those assets, but it is very unfortunate because Glycon is really fun. I really like the vibe that Glycon gives. So yeah, that seems to be about everything. There's not really much else that they've got going on. I am going to be playing through the Forsaken campaign just one more time. We will figure out what class we're going to do it on. We'll play through it and we'll witness Cade's death, and we will get vengeance one more time. I do have several of the seasonal stuff. I don't know about Seasonal Hunt. I think I completed that on every character, but I know Chosen, Splicer, and Lost I have not completed on all my characters. So I'm going to be going through and completing all of those as well. So yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out. We will be back with another video soon, and we'll be picking up on the stream. So come check me out on Twitch. I appreciate everyone who's hung around so far. Thank you for being patient with me. It has been a trial, and I appreciate everyone who has been very patient and who has enjoyed what they have seen and what has been going on. So I hope everyone has a great night. Peace.